Hey guys, another market update here from myself, Critty. This is going to be a little bit more on the lower time frames, like the 4 hour compared to my monthly updates. No, I'm not going to touch on news events. Charts only. I've had an energy drink. Let's fucking go. The first chart I'm going to show you is obviously going to be Bitcoin. As you can see, clear uptrend. And if you zoom out even further, it looks like it's going to go parabolic. Right now, I'm going to go into the 4 hour. I'm just going to draw in a couple of levels. The first thing I'm going to do is draw a Fibonacci from down here to here. And I just want to outline that we had a 0.618 retrace from this move here. Next thing I'm going to do is get the fixed range volume profile. I'm going to draw that in from the start of this range, and it just keeps going. So what this tells me in this time here, that the most volume was traded in between these two purple lines, with the most volume traded on the red line, which is the point of control, by far, by the looks of this. What we don't want to see is price rejecting this level, because that means that we'll go lower. But there's nothing to say that we can just chop down here, flag out, reclaim before reverting to at least a point of control. And then we can have a look at this level here, which is the value area high. So right now I'm pretty heavily weighted that we do reclaim this over the next couple of days, if not today, tomorrow, or early next week, before we reclaim this trend line here and go. And then what we have then is a bit of a bump and run kind of setup. Failing a reclaim here, we're going to have to look at maybe this could be a bear flag, and price will just come down here, maybe back down to here, take that low before we can start going up. There's a few alt charts that are at a real sticking point here as well, same with Bitcoin. But I think for now, we really just have to sit on our hands while we're between this line here and this line here before we make our next move. Next chart we're going to have a look at is Ethereum. We've obviously got this level here at $4,000, which has just been like lava, just does not want to break through it. So the more touches it gets, the more weak it's going to get. There's a daily order block here. As you can see, price just can't get above it. There's a really, really strong narrative at the moment for ETH, especially after everyone thought it was dead down here. That's the stuff you want to see before we get a good pump. So for me personally, I've sold all my Bitcoin now and rotated to Ethereum. I even sold some Sol this week and rotated it to Ethereum as well. The better trade will be to wait till we get above this level and wait for a retest and then go and enter here. But when you get something really strong, you don't always get that retest. And this is when people will start FOMOing in to push price up. I think the bear case is this, it's $4,000, just doesn't break, and then you can come back down here, which I've been telling everyone is a weekly order block here. And then that would be a good entry too before we come back up and go. But lose that level, it's bad. The next one is Solana. I'm not too sure about this. That's why I exited my positions in Solana. I feel like we've got a big head and shoulders forming here. I think we'll at least touch this once more before we can go up. But if we lose this, we're going down. So I just didn't want to be in Solana for that reason. And Ethereum's going to outperform Solana over the next few weeks at least. I'm going to chart XRP for all you dickheads out there. Just a bit of banter, guys. Just a bit of banter. Don't hit me. So struggling to get above the old all-time high back in 2018, I think it was. Yes, I am correct. Which is fine. You can't expect you just to blast through those kind of levels. I do think there's a lot of retail in here, a lot of tradies in Australia especially, which bought after this pump. And, you know, let's just say that averaged here. They're up 30% of their portfolio right now. The only other people I know that are up are the people that bought up in here, the top here, but they've been underwater for quite some time. Guys, don't do that. Have some kind of exit plan. At the moment, to me, it just looks like a swing failure pattern of this high here. And I do think maybe we'll get one more push up before we roll over and then take a few out and go. That's the bullish case if we can't get some momentum right now. Failing that, if we lose this level here, it's game over. I do think that XRP will retrace back to these levels in the bear market, whenever that is. I don't think it's going to be anytime soon. So for everyone playing at home, I really do hope that we get something like this. But I feel like that just needs one more shakeout. But on the 4 hour time frame, it does look pretty good. We've got a bit of a falling wedge through here where we had a breakout, retest, and we know we could be going. This could just be trapping a lot of the retail traders as well. The total chart on the weekly is looking pretty good. You just need to hold this level though. If we're going on the daily, that's the level really we want to try and hold. To be honest, I would have preferred price to come up to this level and then flag under it like we're seeing on Ethereum right now before it goes. I think this might just roll over and go like this, come back down here before it comes back out. We will note that we are above the developing year value area high, which is bullish, and we've had a retest, so it could be really on here. One of my favorite charts, a USDT dominance chart. We've broken this trend line again. Looks like we've retested it, and hopefully we roll over. I think we'll at least roll over to here. That could put in some kind of market cycle high. And if things are looking really good for Bitcoin and we're expecting an extended cycle, we could see a retest of that and then maybe look for levels down here. But until we get to this level down here, I'm really not interested in calling tops until we see how price reacts here. This is my second favorite chart. This is telling me when alt season it is. At the moment, we've found support on this trend line. I really want to lose that, visit this trend line. We might get a sharp bounce like this, and before we can come back down. And I'm expecting we only go down to these levels here. Bitcoin is a very strong narrative for that this cycle across the world. And I just don't think it's going to let go of market dominance like we have seen in past cycles, personally. The strong alt run would be is we lose this, come back up, retest, and then enter your mid caps and low caps there and catch that move. The next one I'm going to show you is something our head of research, Black Widow, found. It's called Plume. At the moment on this chart, I'm just looking for a reclaim of this level here. Otherwise, I'm not interested until, it could just go like this, down here, before we can see some structure, and I'll be able to get in on a retest of a old resistance, turn it into support or something like that from there. There's a bit of a trend line through there as well, so if we could see something like this, maybe a higher high here, take this high here, and that will be another good trigger to get in. At the moment, we could see a high low here. I'd just like to back that up with a higher high, which I haven't really got yet. I'm not really a fundamental guy or anything like that, but what it is going to bring real world assets on chain so that you can stake them and get some APIs. You can lend them out, borrow them, all the things you can do with DeFi, you'll be able to do with the real world assets. At the moment, it's only 240 million market cap. There's still a lot of coins out there as well that haven't been unlocked. So that's something you need to take and consider and have a look into. We've got over 1 million followers on Twitter. Hopefully they're not paid for. But this is what we're looking at now at Market Mastery, is finding these little gems that we can rotate some of our profits when the time comes when alt season is set in. If you want to know more about that, click the link in the description.